Hey guys, Matt Allen here. Welcome back to Tactical Bassin'. Today we're talking about the top 5 baits for bass fishing in the month of June. June is a really fun time to be on the water. There are so many different ways to catch them. Now, this is a top 5 video, but it is probably no surprise to anyone who's ever seen me do one of these. I couldn't narrow it down past 6. I actually have 6 for you. That highlights what June is all about. June has options. The summertime offshore patterns are developing. The shallow water patterns are still going. You have so many ways that you can catch them. And personally, I really enjoy all of these. These are some of my favorite things to do. I look forward to June every year. Traditionally, the highlight of bass fishing is March, April, May. Personally, the last few years, June has produced some of my biggest fish of the entire year. Just speaking for me and my fishing. So let's jump into this. This one right here, the very first one, is actually my number 1 choice in June. If I could only have one out of all of these, this is the one that I'm doing. This is a bait called a Wobble Head or a Swinging Jig Head. Okay, what we do is we take a hook that is free swinging, and then we add a creature bait to it. This is the X-Zone Adrenaline Craw. The 4.25 inch is my preferred size, although there is a smaller one as well. If I could only have one color, it would be this. It would be Junebug. Junebug or dark Junebug, that purple shade. There's something as we go into summer about Junebug in the vast majority of the country. When you start fishing offshore, fishing a little deeper, it just gets those critical bites, those bigger bites. I have more faith in this to consistently produce above average bites for me this time of year than just about anything else if I'm gambling on a lake I've never been on. And it's so easy to do. So it looks like it's just a creature bait, and it is. But this is not some slow moving bottom contact. We're not dragging a jig. We're not shaking a Texas rig. Check this out. I'll show you what you do. You take your Wobble Head. This is made by Dirty Jigs. I thought I had the pack laying here, but I don't. Now, let me tell you also, we will link everything we're talking about today will be linked in the video description below this video. We'll give you the exact bait, our favorite colors, the exact size, the weight, all of that in that video description. So you don't have to be trying to take notes or remember. It's all down there for you. But this Dirty Jigs pivot point football, we take that and we stab it into the top of that adrenaline crawl, and then I pop it out the side. Then we just do our standard Texas rig or Tex pose. I go through, and that is what we fish. Now, I personally bend mine up just a little bit to increase my hookup ratio so that it's a better angle with my bait. But that is a free swinging jig head or a Wobble Head. Very simple, right? Why is that my number 1? Because of the number of fish I catch on it, the number of giant fish that I catch on this. What you do with this now is you throw it out, you let it go to the bottom, let it hit, and then you start a slow, steady retrieve, like a crankbait, spinnerbait, chatterbait, just bumping bottom, bump, 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 bump. And what it is doing is it's rocking and rolling behind that swinging head. Every time the head bangs into something, the creature will move, and we have these little paddle feet kicking. It is just a different action than the bass see at any other time. And it is incredibly effective on not only catching fish, but on catching giant fish. I'm amazed how well that thing works. Now, the only place where it doesn't shine is lakes that have that slimy, nasty grass. You know the stuff I'm talking about, the stuff that just goops up on your baits. If you have that, you really can't work a wobble head on the bottom. Hard rock bottom, mud bottom, chunk rock, anything like that. It's incredibly effective, even through a lot of grasses, as long as it's hard grass where you can get caught and then snap it free of that stuff. You can work it through sparse grass as well, but that rocky bottom is the best place for it. But I'm telling you, big bass will respond to that unlike anything else. That June bug color is key. And the best creature, the number one that I've ever found, is that adrenaline craw. It just works. Next up, let's talk topwater. I love throwing topwater. Most of you probably do as well. Topwater fishing is just, it's one of the most rewarding things in bass fishing because it is visual, right? It's not just getting a bite of tick on the end of your line. It's that kaboom, and you see that fish eat that thing. It's amazing. Now, depending on the type of fishery that you're on, I have two very different options for you. And while we talk about topwater in the spring a lot, the specific baits change from year to year, and these recommendations are based entirely on Tim's and my own personal fishing. Over the last year, these two baits were remarkable this time of year. So if you are in a place that doesn't have a lot of grass, or you've at least got enough open water where you can get away with it. There's a fish blowing up right here. That was amazing timing. How funny. You can get away with treble hooks without them constantly being stuck in the grass. This is from Megabass. This is called the Giant Dog X. This is a walking topwater, a walking surface bait. It has two treble hooks. Now, why the Giant Dog X? Why not all these other topwater baits? The reason I choose this one is that most walking baits are very aggressive, super loud, boom, 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 covering a lot of water, throwing a lot of water. So you would need a walking bait and a popper, sploosh, sploosh, right? That subtle approach. If you're in the back of a little pocket like this, you would want the popper. If you were out on a windy point, you would want the walking bait. The Giant Dog X is this perfect balance between the two. It is a subtle walking bait, very subtle. It's like the in-between between most walking baits and most poppers. It's subtle enough to catch them in glassy, slick, calm conditions. It's got enough commotion, and it's a traditional walking bait that it will catch them out in the open as well. So that's why that won, because it's really covering several different things for me at once. I really like that bait. Now, for the guy who's more around heavy cover, it's going to be a frog, right? You need something weedless. Now, not all frogs are created equal. There are tons of frogs on the market. There are tons of really good frogs on the market. There's also a ton of junk frogs on the market. Over the last year, the Spro Bronzeye 65 has been my standout. I've caught more big ones on this one over the past year than any other. This color is called Killer Gill. And this time of year, if I could only have one, it would be that one right there. But this is just an amazing bait. It's a small enough frog that I can throw it on everything from like a 7 foot or 7'2", 7'4" heavy up to your full-blown extra heavy frog rod. So a guy that doesn't have a truly dedicated frog rod can still throw that frog, get a good hookup out of it, but it's big enough that it gets the giant bites. And I mean, I have caught a lot of really big ones. You might remember a video earlier this spring where we went out and had a monster bag just smashing with the Navy SEAL color of this frog, which is another one of my favorites, but such a good frog. So we've got an open water bait and we've got a cover bait to get you through June, depending on the type of fishery that you are on. Next up, let's do an offshore one. Okay, we'll do one more hard bait and then we'll do some soft baits. Next one up is going to be a crankbait. And the crankbait, we have options. We can go deep, we can go shallow. There are fish pushing shallow. Now, there are fish back in cover, but there are fish that will also get out on points. That wind starts blowing, you get current, you get a lot of fish out on those hard bottom points. Also a great place to throw the Wobble Head. But a square bill is a killer option. This is the Spro Speed Demon. Specifically, the color's called Laundry Mat. This bait has a unique way that it shimmies. It's a very aggressive bait, but it's a fast bait. It's got a good sound to it. Comes with great stock hardware. You don't need to change anything. Tie it on and go. That is a fishy bait. And that laundry mat color, that sort of chromy silver type color. This one's all covered in teeth marks. I'm seeing them as I'm shining in the light here. That color is my confidence color. Bass are ambushing shad on those outside points, and that's the one. If I'm, again, there's a lot of good color options. Your water clarity might be super clear, it might be super dingy, you might adapt a little bit, but if I'm just driving around gambling, I'm headed to a lake, I don't know what color to throw, I always start with laundromat. That is a good bet. So that's the shallow end of the spectrum. Now the deep end is there too, right? In a lot of southern fisheries, current fisheries, that offshore bite has kicked up. You've got fish on outside humps, ledges, creek channel swings. You've got fish out on the ends of long tapering points. There's so many ways to get those fish, but they're stacking up offshore and they're schooling. Early season, the deep diving crankbait is an amazing option. As the seasons wear on, the fish will get more weary or more leery in the south because of the amount of fishing pressure, and you've got to go to more subtle presentations. But on the front end of the offshore bite, the crankbait is amazing. I've got two for you. They're both more subtle options, and that is because of the increase in fishing pressure the last few years. I throw a lot of the subtle options now, even from the start. From river to sea, that's the Tactical DD75. This is a bait that Tim and I designed specifically for targeting deep water fish. Now, we built this for cold water cranking. As it turns out, happy mistake. It's incredible for summertime cranking too. We actually had to come back 2 years after we launched this bait and add summertime specific colors like that one right there, because it worked so well in warm water too, and that was not what we had in mind for the bait. So we had to relaunch additional colors with river to sea to cover that. That thing is amazing because it is tight actioned. It has a very unique sound profile. It doesn't sound like the thousands of other crankbaits that are coming through the water, and fish fall for it. The other one is from Rapala, and that is the DT16. Fantastic bait. It is a subtle bait. It's a balsa bait, and it's just got a different action than the rest. Again, June, you're trying to stand out from the crowd. The crowd has arrived. People are fishing. People are on the water. There's outboard noise in the water. You can hear those motors buzzing. There's waves. You need something different. Those are both really good options. And again, in the video description, I'll give you my specific color choices. They range from really natural to the bright and the bold. It just depends on the day. Next one up. Let's switch over. Let's talk about some soft baits, okay? Next one is going to be the Swimbait. Now, not a giant Swimbait. Talking 4-inch to 4.75, right? This is the X-Zone Swammer, the 4.75. So that size down to just a little bit smaller. Now, why a swammer? We're talking about a paddle tail swim bait. We'll not get too far ahead of ourselves. Paddle tails are just a great option. You can cover water, you can catch a lot of fish. They just work. Now, how you rig them matters too. I use one of two heads. These are actually both heads that we've designed through the years. This is actually my namesake. That is the Matt Allen Swimbait head. 30-degree line tie and a narrow head and a stout hook. The result is that this head, 30-degree line tie, destabilizes it. It allows for a lot of rock, which is secondary action. So a swimbait, tail kick, that's primary action. Secondary action, rock and roll, head bob, twisting, that's secondary action. That is what imitates real life. That's what separates one swimbait apart from another. The second head is this one right here. This is our tactical underspin. Tim and I designed this underspin to fill a void in the market. There are tons of great underspins on the market. There are some that are really good for one thing or another. We just wanted to build a head that could do it all well. So this thing was extremely well thought out. We put an incredible amount of time in this. This dropper arm length is exact to clear every single one of the popular paddle tails that you might choose at your local shop. That way the blade will still spin underneath without hitting and not working. That is a common underspin problem. We changed the keeper system. See how it's smooth on top? That's the place when a bass clamps down, they clamp the top and their top teeth rub on there. If there's a barb on top, your baits will not last as long because it's in the roof of a fish's mouth and the top teeth rub. By going to smooth on the top, your baits will literally last longer. We went to an extremely stout but compact hook so that you could throw this on light line or heavy line. You can catch 1 pounders or 9 pounders. You're gonna land them all. They're not going to bend it out, but you don't have to use super heavy line to set the hook either. It just pairs up beautifully. Now, how do I choose between bladed and underspin or just a bare swim bait head? Very simple. If you can tell they're chasing bait, like that fish that just came up and blew up over here, that was chasing bait. This time of year, bait fish congregate in schools. If you know that that's going on, they're schooling, you've seen them chase some bait fish, more than one jumps out together, the blade is almost always superior. Oh, he blew up again. I wish I had something tied on right here, but I don't. We'll get to that. The blade is always superior. You will get more bites because the blade, the flash from a blade, will draw fish's attention away from a school of bait fish. It will capture their attention and now they will come to you because you have to stand out from the thousands of bait fish. If your water is clearer, or if you see that they just are chasing single bait fish, going without a blade is a more subtle approach. It is a more natural approach. You'll get bit in higher sun conditions, flat calm conditions, crystal clear water conditions, better on the bare head without the blade, unless they are actively schooling the bait fish. That's the difference. That's how you choose between them. So you just need to think about where you fish and be prepared for one option or the other. The beauty of that X-Zone Swammer, I started to tell you that. The beauty of the X-Zone Swammer is that that particular bait has this incredible body roll. So even if you don't use one of these two heads, you use something else, the bait itself creates incredible secondary action. So much, in fact, that you can rig the bait crooked. Now, I rigged this one perfect, but you can even rig it off a little if you're not used to this, and it will rock so much that the bait will track perfectly straight even when you screw up. It's awesome. It's an amazing bait. All right, we've got 2 more to go here. While we're doing that, I'm gonna reach over here. This is not a topwater rod at all. This is just laying on my deck. It's a 7.4 heavy. The worst possible thing that I could be tying a topwater onto. But that fish has blown up 3 times during this video. How dare he? I want to be prepared to try and catch him if he does it again. So we've got 2 more categories here. Next one up is a shaky head. The shaky head worm is fishy this time of year. Now, if you guys have seen a lot of tactical videos, you know that I don't do that much finesse fishing. I like to power fish whenever possible. If I've got the opportunity, I am power fishing. All right, we got our topwater tied on. Set that down just in case. Even if he doesn't blow up, I'm gonna throw it here at the end just to see. All right, the shaky head worm sort of crosses over for me in June. And the reason why is it's finesse fishing, it's bottom contact, it's slow fishing. but it gets big ones. Post-spawn fish, early summer fish, they start going offshore and they'll get on cover and they just lock down and they go through this period where it's like a recuperation time. Those fish are so susceptible to the worm, it's not even funny. So I slow down more this time of year throwing a shaky head than any other time of year. Personally, in my own fishing, I love to do it. Now, I've got a couple of worms here for you. And over the last couple of years, again, I've been shifting, much like the crankbait, to some smaller, slightly more finessey offerings. My number one worm has gone much smaller than in years past. This is from, actually, these are both from X-Zone. This is called the Deception Worm. Now, the reason why I ended up here, and make no mistake of the color, dark June bug. June bug is the theme as we go into summer. It is. I have so much confidence here. The reason why this worm is that this worm is made out of a very neutral plastic. It is a buoyant material and it flows incredibly well in the water. Not all plastics are created equal. They're made of a bunch of different plastics, a bunch of different densities of plastic, and they move differently. This deception worm moves incredibly underwater, and I catch more fish because of it. Now, it's a slightly smaller worm than I threw in years past. I throw it on a different shaky head than I used for years. This is made by Missile Baits, and it's called the Warlock Head. 3/16 ounce is my standard. Let me pull one out and show it to you. That's the head. And that little head, I love a shaky head with a screw lock, personally. Every shaky head I throw has a screw lock on it. I'll put this on here and I'll show you. This setup, because it's got that lighter hook, I can go all the way down to like 8 and 10 pound line and still fish this guy really effectively. But I can also power up to like 12 or 14, no problem. But that is my main shaky head, a June bug deception worm. If I want to go bigger, like I feel like I'm getting a lot of bites or I feel like I'm around bigger fish, they also make this one. This is the MB Fat Finesse Worm. Still a 6-inch worm, but it's thicker. And again, this color, so this one's like half June bug, half pumpkin. Sort of a crossover there. Because you will, a lot of times you'll get more bites on green pumpkin than you will June bug. But your biggest bites will all come on June bug. It's fascinating. This, I can go to that Dirty Jigs Canterbury shaky head. One that I have thrown for years. If I know that I'm around those bigger fish, I'm at risk of getting a big bite. Or if it's just a day where they seem to be biting better, so I'm able to size up. 10, 12, 14 pound line. Look at that. Just perfect. Dead straight on that shaky head. That's what we're looking for. So here's the side-by-side comparison. Hook size difference, worm size difference between that thinner deception on the smaller hook and the thicker fat worm. Very similar worms, very similar movement, just a size profile difference. And last but not least, talking about those offshore fish, talking about those fish that are schooling, we can't ignore strolling. Strolling, the jig and minnow, mid-strolling, bottom strolling, all these different things that are essentially the same thing, the Damiki rig. Taking a jig and a minnow, throwing out, shaking it through the water column. It has exploded. It's exploded in tournaments. It has exploded in people's fun fishing. It is a very... Bait fish just started moving. He didn't blow up yet, but the bait's moving. I think he's going to. I'm keeping an eye over here. Strolling has taken over a lot of bass fishing because of its effectiveness. Now, it has been attached to forward-facing sonar. Some people love it. Some people hate it. Set that aside. We don't care today. What we care about is that strolling catches bass, whether you have electronics or not. So many people are crushing fish from shore, blindly throwing it. I throw it dirt shallow on flats and shake that thing. I throw it out deep. I throw it on schooling fish. It's very effective. I've got a couple of baits here for you. Two main baits are these right here. From Hog Farmer, we have the 5-inch Stroll Shad. From Crush City, we have the Freeloader. And there are countless minnows on the market. Countless. I mean, every brand in the world came out with one, if not three, to try and get in on that trend. But not all baits are created equal. There are just baits that have the magic, the it factor. Whatever it is that gets bit, they've got it. These baits have got it. The 5-inch Stroll Shad blows my mind. It's a very simple looking bait. The results in our fishing is extraordinary. Fish just eat it. They don't say no. It's amazing how well it works. Same thing with that freeloader. It just catches them. Now, I keep my heads very simple. Those 5-inch type baits, I personally, I'm just telling you what I use, is the Dirty Jigs Tungsten HD Guppy. Comes in a 2-aught. Very simple head. Oh, excuse me. Very simple head. That's what I use. That's my main head that I throw these baits on. Do I have one? I've got one out right here. There's one right there. Take that. Let me grab a Stroll Shad too. I'm going to show you. I've got a third bait and another head for you. Hang tight. But check this out. Thread that on. Would help if I threaded it straight. There it is. That's my setup. I have so much confidence in this. It's amazing. Now, if we want to size up, this is an overlooked bait. This is the 7-inch Demiki Armor Shad. If you're going to bigger baits like this, like a 7-inch or an 8-inch Sakamata, a bigger head goes a long ways to help. Dirty Jigs recently came out. We recently did a review of the 5-aught Guppy. That has become my head. Now, I wanted to show you this because a 5-aught sounds really big. It's not as big as it sounds. It's just a stout, medium-size hook, and it pairs up so well. So rather than putting it in the big bait to show you, I put it into a freeloader to show you. That's a 5-aught in the freeloader. Bigger than I would choose day in and day out, but not too big. And it's flawless in the 6s, the 7s, the 8-inch baits. It is such a good size. So in my 5-inch type baits, I'm using that HD Guppy in a 2-aught. In the bigger baits, I'm using the standard Guppy in a 5-aught. And that wraps up our 6 categories. Now I am going to make a cast as we button this up here. See if I can walk this thing sitting down. I'm going to try and catch this fish. But guys, June is an amazing time. Oh, I caught a log. Almost got it. There we go. We got it. June is an amazing time to be on the water. Truly it is. Because we can do everything from throw a topwater to go out offshore, deep crank. We can roll that wobble head. We can do so many different things. We could slow down and finesse them. We've got fish like this one that I had seen here chasing bait. We've got fish offshore. We've got fish in shallow water. No luck. He's not coming up. I was hoping he would. I was hoping he was sticking around the area. He probably took off with the last bait ball. I love this time of year. I really do. I get so excited to fish in June. The core of bass fishing, the book on bass fishing, would say that prime time already passed. It's springtime. I don't agree. I love spring. February, March, April, May. That is such a fun window to bass fish. But June, like I said in the beginning, the last few years, I stick a lot of big ones right now. It's an amazing time to be fishing. There's bait fish moving. I personally get pumped up about it. I love fishing this time of year. I get excited. I get up early. Oh, he boiled. Oh, all right. I got to pay attention for a second. He rolled on it. He really did. Hang on. Come on, fish. Come on. Where'd you go? Nothing. Oh, I'm throwing over the top of a tree to get to him, and I hung on that tree for a second time. Dang it. Oh, good. Got it back. All right. Let me refocus. I love this time of year. I get pumped on bass fishing. I love all of these techniques. Guys, again, in the video description, I'll link all of this for you. I'll give you my favorite heads, favorite sizes, because it matters. My favorite colors, because it matters. You can catch them this time of year. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and we'll talk to you soon.